during the migration, when we got to Ife, we spent so many years before moving to Benin, some part of Togo, where we now know as Aneho, and then we settled at Ayawaso. And then we have finally settled here in Accra.
So there are guns in all these places that you mentioned?
Yes, we have the guns there. Even though you might have the people there having a different or a slight change in the language, or a different naming, or the tone of the dialect has changed a bit, they perform the same customary and traditional rites as we do here in our present settlement now.
So the Gas are originally Israelites?
We are Israelites.
So why don't you consider yourself Jews?
We are Jews.
Okay. Are you of the Jewish religion?
Yes, we are of the Jewish religion because it's only the Ghana people who has the office of the staff and then the road. When you go to the Jewish settlers, they have the staff and the road too. They have the priests and then they have the kings. And then it is among the Jewish people that we have the Levites, to whom God gave the everlasting kingship. So we are Jewish by nature. When you go to the Jewish land, for instance, everything that they do is purely traditional. It's purely customary. Because you see that we, the Gans, have a system of naming our children. We have a different system of performing our marriage rites. We have our funeral rites. We have our festivals, the way we dress, and then the patrilineal inheritance system. It's all part, that is, when you go to the Jewish land, you see, there are certain languages or certain words in Ghana which have the same meaning in the Jewish language.
Okay, like which one?
Like words like Amon. Amon is found in the Jewish language with the same meaning. It's a name. When you go to Israel, you have the word like Imma. Imma here literally means my mother. You go to the Jewish land, Imma, it's my mother. You understand? What we use in performing our customary rites is what the Jewish also have. Like the flower offering, our altars that people tell me to be shrines. But they are not shrines, they are altars. When you get to the altars, the positioning of the altar, the items that is needed in the altar is the same thing that is needed in Israel. So you see, there are similarities in most of the things that we do. We have the full meaning of the priesthood system. And then when you go to Israel, they have the full meaning of the priesthood system too. As we move along, one way or the other, we go through some pains, we go through some kind of activities happens, and then we try to keep them in memory, which we've added them to our main festivals. All the festivals that we perform here, it's not all that is from Israel. Some happen on our way to our present day settlement area now. So we try to keep them in memory and memorize them year in, year out, just to keep the memories alive.
So, the original Israelites did not have kings. Israel be enumi amebe mancheme. She ameke men majin kome ashila momie. Amehu amebabi nyumwaka amentawo manche. The Israelites did not have kings until their interactions with other people. And it's the same for the Ga people as well. There was a time when there was no position like the Gamanche, respectfully. But it was the Wulome, like yourself, the chief priests, who were ruling the people. How did that change?
No, it's the same interaction with other people. For instance, when we settled here, we realized that all the people, the neighboring settlers, they have kings. They have chiefs, if I should say. But with that of the Gans, our priests are the spiritual and the government body of the Gan state. So they govern the whole Gan people. They led them from all where we migrated from to our present settlement now. So you see that, and then the priesthood system is different. It's not unlike the chiefs that you see them out today, out tomorrow, going to wars leading people towards and come. The priesthood people, or the priesthood system of the Ghana state, have a way of practicing our norms and then our taboos and then our customs. Priests have forbiddings. They are forbid from even seeing the dead body. They are forbid from even attending funerals. They are forbid from even doing something that will make someone lose his or her life. So these things are most of the norms which are forbid the priest from doing.
How is a priest selected? Use yourself as an example.
Yes.
You were a privately Abraham Ananiate.
Yes.
And now you've become, for many years now, the chief priest of the Ghana state.
Yes.
What is that transition like, and what's that selection process?
Yes, it's been selected through, it's an ordination. It's a full spiritual work, because you can't just appoint somebody and just look at the person's appearance, look at the person's stature or the person's position in the community, and then you say this person is a priest. No. When the priest demise, the system of selection, other one is through ordination. You have to go through, make series of consultations, make series of invocations of our ancestors, of our gods, and let them choose the person who is rightfully, and then the person who is rightfully heir to the throne before the person is chosen as the priest for customary rites to be performed for the person. It is quite a long, if I should say, a long activity. It's not just like that of the chiefs that may go for a week or maybe 3 days. That is done. But the priest needs to be confined for about 21 days. He will be taught to know more about what the position he is coming to occupy, and also learn much about the spiritual affairs of the Ghana state. So it's not just a one-day activity, it's a very long day activity.
Are there homes where priests are selected from? Are there particular families where they come from?
Yes. For instance, that of Naiwe, we have 3 gates in the whole Naiwe family that the priests are selected from. Because as we're growing, we realize that the family is now getting higher numbers. And then we have to let everybody has a share of becoming a priest by ordination. It's not by selection, no. We can select people who are all known to be from the family who is eligible to become a priest. But that is not a choice of the gods. And that is not a choice of our ancestors.
In this case, who is the God here?
The Supreme God himself. And then our lesser God, through whom we serve God through.
You were quite young, I remember clearly, when you were ordained as Nai Ulomo, because you're a university graduate. Why did you agree to this life of wearing white and walking around barefoot and not pursuing the career that you were going to, or you had plans of pursuing?
No, I never thought of that, because when we were all growing up, we were taught that this is the family where we belong, and these are the positions that is in the family that we use to serve the Ghana state. Now, little did I know that it got to my turn that I may become a priest. But when my predecessor demised from office, I realized that they had series of meetings with my family head, my dad, my siblings, my other family members. Not knowing before they made me aware that this is what they are coming to do. They've already made consultations, they've appeased the gods, and then they've done all the needful.
Did you have a choice in the matter?
I had no choice.
Could you have said, in a I can't do this?
Yes, Yes, I could have said that, but before I had a chance to talk, I have been confined already.
So they caught you at Mobo Nakeboya.
Yes, I invite me to a meeting.
So you walked in wearing your shoes and all
I
that?
walked in
with your slippers or whatever?
And I remember that day was a Monday. And then after work, we used to have a football games every Monday, what people say Monday Stars. So we were playing. So after I was on the field playing, and then a young guy said, oh, I had a call. And then it was my dad. And they said, oh, I should hurry and come back. We have a special meeting to attend. Not knowing I was having a plan of writing few articles about Naiwen and the priesthood system of the Ghana state, because I had a project which I chose that part to write and then to support my assessment. So I said, oh, then let me take the opportunity to go to attend this meeting and then have interactions with my family head and then the topmost heads in the house so that they can brief me more. Not knowing that day was the day that I was going to be confined. So when I got to the home, I got to the Naiwe, and then they said, oh, the lights were out. They said they had a problem with their meter. They said they had problem with the people coming in to repair the meter.
But it was all format. No, I'm in Lakabo.
Lakabo. I thought I was smart.
But they were smarter.
They were smarter than I thought. Because when we got to the house and then I got into the house was totally dark. They said, oh, Chombi and Uvatashikoni. So when I sat down, and then my head of family said, he called one of the guys. I credited. So that gave me another more reason to feel relaxed.
Yeah.
Because they've confirmed that it was a lighthouse. And then when I got there, and then I started greeting my family head. That's when I get to the family head, and then he held my hand. And he was asking me, Ma Boba Asha, but before I realized, they just had regalia we called komi that you put around your neck. Okay. I only put those things on when I'm performing the full customary rites. It's done with straw and then some few items. So it's very big on your neck, quite long. They just put that thing on my neck and then they held my hand, and then I realized the lights were on. The house was full with priests, priestesses, some chiefs and other family members. So before I could ask what is happening, they've done with slaughtering everything on me. So I became a little bit tensed. So I couldn't talk.
Choice you wouldn't have.
Because my ambitions at that time, I don't know, but it's obvious anyway.
What did you study in uni?
I did few things about. I did arts. I did. I did lots of things, but purely arts, because I was advised by my uncle, Professor Niat, at that time, that we need to lead, just choose the family legacy and keep it running. You shouldn't be letting it go.
Right.
So yes.
On legacy and keeping it running, the Ghans have been influenced a lot by the places that they settled at. And some people think it's a good thing, others disagree. What do you think, this migration process has come to mean to Ga people? Has it harmed, and when I say us, you all know I'm a Ga woman, has it harmed us or has it benefited us?
It's a no, it's a yes. Because if we had not moved, we wouldn't have known what the Ghans or the Ghan states would have been at wherever we originated from. And then moving from one place to the other and settling here is quite an interesting thing, which has given us a lot of history to talk about. But where we settled now, the migration to this place has cost us a lot. Why would I say this? It has created a lot of divisions amongst us. It has created a lot of selfishness amongst us. It has even given us a platform to be fighting ourselves just over positions, just over lands, just over rights to perform a customary rights in public. Because if we were at our original home, maybe we might still having the unity at his maximum level. But now here, we are here, and then we are having problems with our own land demarcations. Well, when you look at the problems we are having in Accra right now, it's about land boundaries. And then Cosmopolitan has also given us a worse things that we never anticipated.
But is it not the chiefs, the chiefs of the Gan villages and the Gan communities that sell the lands? So if you don't sell them, will someone forcefully come and take them? Yes,
but looking at the white paper acquisition of Ghana lands, the lands that government has acquired for a purpose that they are not being used for the purpose of acquisition is even let me say, the paramount of our problems if it comes to lands. Because most of the lands have been acquired by government and it is now being reallocated to individuals for their own personal projects.
Are you going after those?
We are trying going after those. We are trying going after those. And then you realize that they try to manipulate our leaders by giving them positions in areas that they become handicapped. Because they are occupying positions in government that they have to make sure that they have to serve the government correctly, they become handicapped to talk for the guns. Either they are being given the position or they are not given the position at all. In a couple of years back, 20 years back, you realize that we have a political interference in our chieftaincy system. They did not come. We took the whole package of the Ghana chieftaincy system into the political terrain. And politicians will take advantage of that.
Okay, so you acknowledge that part of the problem is the people, the Ghana people themselves open themselves up for some of this interference.
Perfectly.
For political gain.
Perfectly.
Because there are other traditional paramountcies in Ghana, the Ashanti being the most prominent that comes readily to mind, that appear to have a more structured succession plan. It does not appear, and I stand to be corrected, it does not appear that it will be under much influence from a government in power to appoint who the next, leader should be for that tribe. Why is it that when it comes to gas,
yes, what the whole thing is, we have, if it comes to chieftaincy system or the structure of the Ghana states, ours is very beautiful because the way we go through the nomination, the selection, the elections, and then before you become the candidate is very beautiful. But I got to certain generations and then people take it like, oh, in government your power, I was sending money in government abami. But within the Ghana settlers themselves, we ourselves know that there is no government who will be able to select or choose a government for the Ghana people. Because there is no president who occupies the Gajases too. No. No regional minister occupies the Gajases too. No. No police IGP occupies that Gajases too. There is a structure among the kingmakers. We have the Gampramans to Jase. We have the kingmakers who are the Jase for it. We have the three principal Romwe who plays a major role alongside the 9 Romo in performing the customary rites in installation the Gamanche. So all these things are there. And sometimes the guys want to become Gamanche. This is a simple thing.
What area does the Gamanche preside over? Because some people assume that once we are all Gans, then it falls under the powers of the Gamanche.
Yes. Gamanche is Gamanche.
Okay.
Before the, I don't know what this thing is, because I have been challenging this thing and I have not been able to be given a proper answer to that. The paramountcies. The paramountcies among the God traditional area is causing a very big problem to the Ga people, because it is dividing the Ga people.
So even for me, who is has lived in Accra all my life, and I have Ghanaians, I struggle to sometimes understand why we have Gamanche, Osu, Tema, and our friends who are the Dangmes, the Ningo, and the Pampram, and the others. Why can't we have all just one?
Yes,
Ga paramount?
The Ga paramount, before, during Ni Amugi's, Bonini Amugi's reign, from Tema, everybody attends meeting at this very premises as members of the traditional council.
And what happened?
The paramouncies are the problem. Everybody who is given or elevated to a paramountcy status, per Niamugi's intention for elevating the stools, to make the Gamanche stool a king paramount. So that...
But is that what it is? I know that the Abola, Asenwegbese, Sempe, Akamajing, they, to use a woke term, roll with the Gamanche. But it's the Osu and the La and the others that I'm not sure about.
Yes, that is where the problem is, because I don't know who will properly interpret the paramountcy ethics and then the purpose of elevating a stool to a paramount status. Because everybody feels that the moment you are elevated to a paramountcy status, then you are of yourself. But they shouldn't forget that when you come to Gamashi, Gamashi has a literal meaning as the roots of the Ga. You understand? And everybody has a relative in Osu, in La, in Teshi, in Nungwa, in Tema, and so. When you go to Nungwa, for instance, Mwewe, where they have their queen mother of Nungwa being installed, is Sempe's home. You understand? When you get to Osu, they have where they call Blogodo. There are Sempe people there. When you get to Teshi, we have Goa. There are Sine people, Goa, they are there. I go to Osu, Goa, they are there.
We'll talk about the links between the different traditional areas tomorrow. Right now, we want to wrap up. Tomorrow, we'll have you here again, because whilst we are in the palace, we want to know more. We want to understand who the Ga people are and why these segmentations appear to exist. So I'll take some final comments from you. We are at the forecourt or in the palace of the Gamanche, King Takite Kotru II, and we are having this conversation with the chief priest of the Ga state, Nomo Nai Wulomo. Nomo Akwa Mensa III, who is the Nai Wulomo. Nomo, wo wogbe, koni wo trashi, ni wo yashia, wo oba beko. I'm asking the chief priest to share a blessing with us, because we'll have a part 2 of this conversation right here on GTV Breakfast tomorrow, so we get to know a bit more of the Ga people. Nomo, over to you.
I wish everybody a blissful day. It is my prayer, it is my wish that the Ga state will rise and rise again. We are giving everybody hope. We've given millions and millions of other tribes hopes. Because you can't be in a place and then come to Accra and go home with empty-handed. Whatever we do, whatever traditional rites we perform, whatever prayer we pour, in any means, have effects on every single soul here on this land. It is my prayer that we understand ourselves, help us boost our tradition and culture. It's a heritage month. Foreign activities is trying to dominate our custodianship, which is ritual. Religions have limitations and conditions. Spirituality is to eternity. So it is a blessing to everybody, and then I wish everybody a happy Heritage Month. Thank you so much.
Mantse is the Naiwolomo chief priest of the Ga state, recounting to us the history, traditions of the Ga people, who they are, and what makes them unique. Like we said, we are live from the Mantse Palace at North Kanishi, right here in Accra. It's Heritage Month, and